In any video game series, when there's a lot of games in the franchise, there's a likely chance that there might be continuity errors that end up becoming retcons later on. A continuity error is when something is established in the universe, but then something later on changes that fact with no explanation, making it inconsistent. The Arkham series is no different. In fact, there's quite a number of retcons here, with 5 entries into the series now, and with Suicide Squad Kill a Justice League kind of being there, I guess. Things have been changed in these games, some bigger than others, some so small it doesn't matter, and some that were fixed or can be given easy explanations. There's a list of continuity errors I wanted to talk about, so let's get right into it with the continuity errors in the Arkham games. A lot of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so if you can do that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 150k subs this year, but other than that, let's just jump into it. Okay, so just as a preface, the continuity errors in these games, to me, don't make the games worse, because with universes like a superhero one, it's bound to happen, especially how much detail in particular are in the Arkham games, so keep that in mind. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is Gotham's landscape, and this is the basic one. It's probably a BS one, but let's just get it out of the way. So in the other Arkham games like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, the Gotham City landscape looks much different than the one we explore in Batman Arkham Knight. The one in City seems to be more sprawling with skyscrapers, and they all look similar, whereas in Arkham Knight, it's split into 3 islands with all of them having their own distinct features. Now, I guess this is a retcon, right? Because in Arkham City, this is not the city that we see in Arkham Knight, but it's not to anyone's fault or anything. They're not going to build a city if they want to use in the background of Arkham City. That would be ludicrous, right? But yeah, it does count as a retcon, I suppose, since it is different. Also, something else, some of the landmarks in Arkham City has changed in Arkham Origins. For example, the Gotham Casino in Arkham City has a road between it and GCPD, but the casino in Arkham Origins is right beside it, and GCPD here is a train station. This one I don't really think is a retcon, since buildings can change in that time span, but the casino in particular being right next to GCPD is funny. Like, did they just move that building somewhere else in Arkham City, right? That's kind of weird, but that is something I wanted to bring up so someone can be like, actually, in the comment section. But yeah, moving on to the next retcon, the Arkham Asylum bios. Now, the Arkham Asylum bios, when this game first came out, were generally accepted as canon into the Arkham mythos, or at least I thought so. Arkham Asylum felt like it fully established a Batman universe, and we were just playing in said universe. But looking more into it, the Arkham Asylum bios are actually kind of not canon. They've been retconned to not be that way. There's quite a number of things that show that these bios are actually just general bios for these Batman characters from the comics, or from their most known origins, but it's not necessarily what happens in the Arkhamverse. For example, Hush has a bio here. It explains who he is, but as we see in Arkham City is the first time Batman meets Hush. So like, why would he have evidence here in Arkham Asylum, right? So boom, that's a retcon. Also, a more nuanced example is Firefly has a newspaper you scan for his bio, which states his attack in Gotham City. But in Arkham Knight, it states that the only times him and Batman fought were in Arkham Origins like we saw in that game Arkham Knight. So this newspaper here in Arkham Asylum, that event didn't happen, I guess, which makes it a retcon. Another retcon is with the Penguin here. His name in this universe is Oswald Cobblepot. His name's actually Oswald Cobb. Everyone knows that. It's so weird that this game changed that, right? Like, it's so weird. Also, like, some of the designs for these characters are just different, right? Like, Calendar Man here in Arkham Asylum looks more slim than the one we see in Arkham City, and Firefly has a different suit in Arkham Origins, that kind of thing, right? These games' bios when this game first came out could be assumed to be canon because there was nothing in the series at that point to contradict it, but yeah, these bios aren't really officially canon anymore since, you know, the games progress and these stories have changed. So these bios are more like general bios at this point about just general Batman characters. So yes, that is a thing that was changed in the series, which is cool. Moving on though. Another retcon is something in Batman Arkham Origins. So what Batman Arkham Origins did was keep the grapple boost accelerator, you know, the grapple gun tool that lets you zip around the city faster. Now with this gadget being in the game, it does create an inconsistency, I suppose, because in Batman Arkham City, Batman established that the grapple boost there is a prototype, meaning it's something he recently developed. So why would he have it here in Batman Arkham Origins? Well, there is an answer for this that does make sense to me, honestly. I forget where I read this, but it was a long time ago, but WB Montreal basically said it would be really stupid if they didn't add the grapple accelerator in this game. It would set back the traversing a bit and make things less enjoyable, which makes sense, right? So that's the reason why it's in the game, but I guess in the canon, Batman does not have the grapple boost accelerator at this point in his career. It's just a gameplay thing we have, so you just have to pretend that Batman doesn't have it here, I guess. But to elaborate more on the gadgets in Arkham Origins, according to the Arkham Wiki, they list these other gadgets as reccons, but I don't know if I necessarily believe them, but I will explain them here, and let's just get into it. So this list goes on to say that in Arkham Origins, Batman uses a detective mode that is way more advanced than the one he uses in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, you know, with the reconstruction technology and whatnot. I don't know if this is a retcon. It could be very simply stated that Batman never needed to use the reconstruction tech in Asylum and City. However, it does bring up questions like, why would he not use this in Arkham City during some of the sections, right? Like trying to locate Hush, for example. So, I don't know. I guess that's a plot hole more than anything, but moving on. It also lists Sears smoke pellets. Batman has them in Arkham Origins, but not in Arkham Asylum, which, I don't know, that could just be a gameplay thing, right? For sure, Batman had something as simple as smoke pellets in this point Arkham Asylum. I think it's just more of a gameplay thing than a lore thing than anything, which is what I chalk it up to, so that's my response to that. It also lists a remote control battery in Arkham Origins. It's able to change speed and turn its trajectory to 180 degrees, which is more complex than the ones he uses later on in the series. But same thing as smoke pellets to me, it's kind of just a gameplay thing. Moving on past from that though, in Batman Arkham City, in the game, you can see that Black Mask's mask is grafted onto his face. You can see like it's stuck to his face. You can see his hair and see the mask kind of partially off, but it's stuck to his face, so that's cool. However, in Batman Arkham Knight, you can see that his mask is not like that. He can take his mask off. So that could have been a retcon where it's like, why does Black Mask's mask change like this between games? But I guess you could explain it in some shape or form. Maybe he found a way to take it off. Maybe he put a second mask on his face. I don't know. Now, I know there's a theory that the Black Mask we see in Arkham Knight is actually a fake Black Mask and not the real one. But until we get any real confirmation, I'm just forced to believe that this is actually the real Black Mask, right? But the matter of the fact is that with the info we have now, it is kind of like a retcon. I don't know, it's up to you to decide, but on the surface level it can be seen as one. Even though Black Mask was whatever in these two games, it is something to note. Moving on though, Robin in the Matter of Family DLC. This one's pretty simple and one that I agree with. In this DLC, Robin is shown to be wearing his Arkham Knight outfit, but based on the timeline, this guy should be wearing his Arkham City costume or an earlier design. The two suits he does have in Arkham City and Arkham Knight do have differences, so yeah. It's weird he's wearing this suit, unless the one in Arkham Knight isn't an upgraded suit, and it's just like another version of his suit that he's always had. But I don't know, yeah, that is just another thing to note. Here's an inconsistency that I didn't know about. So apparently in Arkham Knight, the Arkham City Island in North Gotham, which is the Arkham Origins Gotham, has been turned around 90 degrees. Causing several errors in the locations where they're not supposed to be at. For example, the steel mill is now on the opposite side of the island from the Pioneer's Bridge from Arkham Origins, when it was supposed to be next to it. And also, one of the prison walls is now located between the courthouse and the museum. So that is just pretty interesting to me, I just didn't know that. Next up though, let's talk about a movie, an Arkham movie, called Batman Assault on Arkham. It is a movie that's supposed to take place before Batman Arkham Asylum. It's about the Suicide Squad trying to infiltrate Arkham for Waller. Even though this movie isn't known to be canon or not, there are still some inconsistencies to an extent that I wanted to point out. For one, when some of the Arkham supervillains break out at the end of the movie, they have their Arkham Asylum outfits on when they should be wearing inmate clothes. So, I don't know, it's kind of a negligible point, but still something worth noting. Another one is that Scarface in the movie has this Glasgow smile carved onto his face, but this movie takes place before Joker's takeover, and Joker puts this Glasgow smile on his face, so what's up with that? And finally for this movie, Penguin has a bandage around his hand when he is in the Iceberg Lounge. In Arkham City, he has this bandage because Bruce broke his hand in the beginning of that game, but this movie takes place before Arkham City. So if this is supposed to be for when Bruce broke his hand, that would also be an inconsistency. But that's enough about the movie, I just thought I'd put those in the video because where else would I put it? Now here's an interesting one. So in Batman Arkham Asylum, in the audio tapes, there's a conversation that is supposed to be Joker and Harley's first time meeting each other in Arkham Asylum. It's a reference to the Mad Love episode from the new Batman Adventures where Harley talks about the super criminals. And anyway, in these audio tapes, Harley seemingly first meets Joker here and escapes with him to become Harley Quinn. However, In Arkham Origins, we see that Joker and Harley first meet in that game, so this would create an inconsistency, because if Harley and Joker met here in Blackgate, why would she not know about him in the audio tapes where she's in Arkham Asylum with him, right? This thing was actually fixed in Batman Arkham Shadow though. So in the audio tapes in Batman Arkham Shadow, we see that Joker and Harley actually keep pretending that they keep meeting each other for their first time. It's a little game they play. This would explain the Arkham Asylum audio tape perfectly, and this fixes one inconsistency in these games pretty perfectly in my opinion. It's pretty awesome that Arkham Shadow acknowledged this. Okay, now moving on, for the rest of this video, the inconsistencies I'm about to talk about, I do not agree with, but I want to put them in the video for people to make their own decisions, and it's still relevant to the video, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to be talking about why I don't find these inconsistencies relevant, but let's just begin here. Okay, so here's the first one. So, Slade. At the end of Arkham Origins, you can see Slade being led back to the cells at Blackgate, but this would be inconsistent because in the post-credit scene of the game, it shows him still in that same cell we saw him in doing push-ups and talking to Amanda Waller. But like, he shouldn't be here because he was transferred, right? That's what this is trying to say. This one is kind of dumb to me because like, he could have just been moved back and then back to his cell, you know, like, or maybe Slade talked to Amanda first and then got transferred in the cutscene here. You know, you can easily explain this one, so I don't really think this one's that important, but there you go. Moving on, another inconsistency that's mentioned here is that Arkham Origins' Cold Heart DLC, Nora Freeze appears to be in a different position and also is wearing a different outfit than the outfit we see her in Batman Arkham City. Is this an inconsistency though? I don't think so. In Arkham Knight, it's shown that she can get out of the pod and survive for at least a little while. I think it's very possible that she got out of the pod at some point between these games and maybe changed or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't think this is inconsistent at all, but to each their own. It's just whatever to me, honestly. Something else to mention is on the Identity Thief side mission in Arkham City. Hush makes his first appearance here. During the side mission, thugs will mention that Bruce Wayne is around Gotham City and killing people, which means they saw Thomas Elliot as Bruce Wayne. However, Hush's face is bandaged throughout the game. We see him in the church in the beginning of the game bandaged, and we see him at the end of the side mission, he's also bandaged. So unless he just took off the wraps in the middle of like all of this, nobody could know it was Bruce Wayne. And it doesn't seem likely that he would have the wraps taken off because his face is still recovering, right? So I don't know. It could be inconsistent, but at the same time, I'm indifferent about it. Maybe he just recently wrapped himself up here. Maybe he had some of his face revealed during Arkham City. I can see that being a thing, but you know, it's just whatever. You let me know. Moving on, another inconsistency that's mentioned here is that in Arkham City, Robin clearly states that there's 30 confirmed cases in the Gotham General Hospital and 50 at Mercy Hospital for the Titan disease. However, in Arkham Knight, there are only 4 people who got infected with Joker's blood. I don't think this is inconsistent at all. It could just be explained that they found cures and found ways to help these people, and the 4 that didn't were the ones that slipped through the cracks, which are the Joker-infected people we see in Arkham Knight. Or maybe it is inconsistent because the cure we get in Arkham City was very limited due to needing Raish's blood. So who knows, dude. I still think it can be a bit explained, but let me know with this one. Another one mentioned here is that in Arkham Knight, is that after taking down the Arkham Knight at his headquarters, his helmet duplicates. There's one in the villain evidence room over at GCPD, but the one you see at his headquarters will also still be there. So I guess this is like inconsistent, but like whatever. It just seems like a small oversight by Rocksteady to me. If you really want to say it is though, sure, but this to me is just negligible at best and just more so something anyone can chalk up to a simple mistake and not to be taken that deep. Here's one from the Flip of a Coin DLC. So in this DLC, there's a newspaper that mentions Johnny Vidi's death on Halloween, which is a reference to the Long Halloween where Johnny Vidi is killed by Holiday. Johnny Vidi is a part of the Falcone family lineage. However, Johnny Vidi was not listed on the Falcone family tree in Batman Arkham Origins. So people thought this was inconsistent because like, why is he not on the family tree? I mean, sure, that could be an inconsistency, but this is such a minor Easter egg that I don't think it really matters. Plus, it could be argued that Johnny Vidi was just someone that the GCPD didn't know about or something, right? So that's what I think. But moving on to the final inconsistency, quote unquote. So in Arkham Knight, the differences between the Joker infection and the Titan disease are never made abundantly clear. The Joker infected people in the game that got transfused with Joker's blood only show signs of the Joker infection, when they should be carrying the Titan disease as well. It also says here that after both antidotes were cured, the Titan disease could only be cured with another sample of Ra's al Ghul's blood, and Ra's al Ghul disappeared between Arkham City and Arkham Knight, so it's unlikely that they could ever be cured. So in regards to the Joker infection and the Titan disease, honestly, I don't know how any of that really works. It's kind of too complicated to think about, but I'm sure someone has an answer. Like, if Batman was cured of the Titan disease, was he never cured of the Joker disease, which is why we see hallucinations in Arkham Knight? I suppose that's the answer, right? But yes, I don't know why there's no Titan symptoms for the Joker infected people, but I'm sure someone has an answer though for it. I know it's kind of a lame answer, but I wanted to bring it up to see what other people had to say about it, because I feel like there's an answer here. It's just kind of confusing though. But that wraps up all the retcons in the Arkham games. Some are pretty noticeable, I guess. Some are fixed, some are whatever. But with any video game series, there's continuity errors all over, so it's kind of cool to talk about them. And with that, you let me know what your thoughts are on all of it. But thanks for watching nonetheless. Be sure to like, comment, sub, all that, dude. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next video. Stay safe and peace.